Hi everybody, it's Carolyn and welcome back. Today I am going to do a different kind of video. It is going to be about my breast reduction surgery that I had done. It's been 1 year and 2 months ago. So I kind of wanted to talk to y'all about it. I don't know if anybody's, thought about having it done or not, but I just thought I would share my story. And I had always been a girl that was big up top, and starting in 5th grade. And so, but I was always small framed, and so even when I graduated from high school, I only weighed like 83 pounds, but I was well endowed. And then when I got pregnant with my son, and I weighed 105, and then of course, wow, I was huge. As far as my breasts were just huge. And then after he was born, then I dropped the weight very quickly, and so I went back down to around 100 pounds. But I never lost my breast. I mean, they always would stay large. I mean, I would lose weight everywhere else, but I never would in my chest. And so, after childbirth, then things kind of, and as we get older, things start kind of moving south, we'll say. And then I started gaining weight probably when I had I had my hysterectomy at 40. So it was probably around, say, 42, something like that, that I started to maybe put on some weight. And there again, I kept getting bigger up top. So at this time, I was probably around a triple D to an E. And my back hurt, and my neck hurt. And then underneath my breast, I would get this rash, and it would just get raw. And so I was going to a chiropractor. I would, I'd see my medical doctor, for other things, but also would mention, things that were going on, see if there was any kind of ointment or anything I could put on for the rash. And so, and I had wanted to have a breast reduction done, but the cost of it was just more than I could afford. So they both talked to me about having a breast reduction done, and that they would write a letter to my insurance company stating what they thought was medically necessary. And at the time, I was working with doctors, so it was good. So I knew kind of the inside scoop about a lot of the doctors as far as who to see. So I chose one plastic surgeon that I went to first. The first thing I can tell you is make sure they are board certified plastic surgeons. That's the biggie right there. And then, so I went to see the first one. And we talked, and I left, and, I thought about things and went back for a second visit. And I don't know, something just wasn't quite right. So, I chose to go to another plastic surgeon. And, I mean, if your gut's talking to you and it's telling you something isn't right, then I suggest that you go to somebody else. I mean, get a second opinion, get a third opinion, whatever makes you comfortable, because this is your body. So I went to see a female. And so she and I were on the same page about things. And so I saw her a couple of times. She told me what she thought she could do for me, and I told her what, I expected, that kind of thing. And so we went ahead and, did the pictures, sent in the letters from my other two doctors into the insurance with her notes stating what she had, thought she needed to do. And so then I waited. And it was less than 2 weeks that I heard back from them. And they had approved it. I was elated. So I just had to pay my deductible. So we went ahead, we set up a surgery date, and she gave me tons of information. I mean, there's like 2 folders here. This one's super thick, and then the other one, so, before and after things. And I have all my records as far as what she's written in here, as well. So I arrived at the surgical center probably at 5:30 that morning. And, you can tell them what size you want to be. But if you're dealing with the insurance and the insurance is going to pay, then they dictate what they think with your weight, your size, everything of what size, they think you should be, if they approve it, and how much tissue they need to take out. So even though you may tell them you want to be one size, you may be smaller because insurance tells them what they have to do. And so that was my case. I said a C, and she told me when it was approved of how much tissue the insurance says had to be removed, and she said, I cannot guarantee you will be a C, but you would, be a larger B. And I was fine with that. I had gone through all this for so long that I just wanted to get it done. My shoulders would roll. Part of it was from the weight. Part of it was just, people would just stare, when you're big. And to me, I just looked like an apple stuck on 2 little sticks because my legs were so tiny, and then I was big up here, and so, people would look at you. And so it just, so I think part of my rolling my shoulders was probably part of embarrassment. Part of it was just the weight. I mean, I kind of wore this on purpose because you can still see the indentation of where my bra straps would be. And so anyway, we went ahead and I said that was fine, and we did the surgery. So I was in surgery for 5 hours and recovery for 3. And then they sent me home. And I was not happy. I didn't want to go home. I felt really bad. But, anytime you have surgery, you'll feel bad. But sometimes I think when people have surgery, I see people go in and have this, these major surgeries or whatever, and they've been out for so long, and then they send you home. But, it's just the way it is anymore. I think it's horrible, but anyway, so when you wake up, you have on this nifty little bra, and this is a compression bra, and it becomes your best buddy. And then pinned to it is your drainage tubes. So I go home. I don't remember much of that ride, but I just remember not being happy. And then when I get home, I had already prepared for a lot of this, so I had the foam wedge. I put that in my bed so I could lean upwards They said was, of course it's easier to breathe and easier to get up because you can't be pulling fluffy pillows where I could put my arms on them, and one behind my head, and then I had one where I could, if I needed to get up on my side, I could put one under my back because your back does start hurting, and you're going to be on your back for quite some time. And I was a stomach sleeper, but anyway. And you come home with antibiotic and pain pills, and so I was so out of it from being put to sleep for so long that I just went back to sleep. And then when I woke up, it was, I don't know, probably 1 o'clock in the morning or something. Well, I couldn't get the pain medicine open. I didn't have the strength. Everything was hurting. And I couldn't wake anybody up. So I just laid back down. And when my sister, she came by here every morning on her way to work. When she stopped by, when I saw her, I just broke into tears, and I was like, what have I done to myself? Because I was in so much pain. I had let the pain get on top of me, and which you shouldn't do. If you need the pain medicine, take the pain medicine. I have a high tolerance for pain, but I needed it. So she got that for me and a little something to eat, and I felt better. And then I had a friend of ours that she came to stay with me during the day, and she would take me to my appointments and, just make sure I was taking my medication, being able to get it, and then to empty my drainage tubes if I needed help with that. So it was just wonderful to have her. The first couple of days I really kind of needed somebody. Then after that I was able to move around a little bit better. I mean, I was still, getting up. I mean, I wanted to get up and move some. So, emptied the drainage tubes, I think it was 3 times a day. You wanted to do that so you had to write it all down so they could see how much, and then when you could get them out. So I think mine came out on the third day, and I was so glad to get rid of those. And then I think I could take a shower right after that, and it felt good, but then in a way it didn't because you were numb, but just to get in the shower felt good. But then you had to wash your hair over the sink because you couldn't get soap onto any of your incisions. So it kind of took a while. It would just wear you out to get your hair washed and get a shower. But it felt good. And so a lot of times people can go back to work. It just depends on the person. Say 2 weeks. This is what she had told me. 2 weeks to 6 to 8 weeks. And I was out for a month, 4 weeks. And what happened with me was when they do this surgery, they cut around the nipple, they cut straight down, and then across the bottom. So it's like an anchor. And then they take out the tissue, cut off what they need to, and then put you back together. So you're sewn inside out. And then they put little steri strips across that as well. And then I think I had gauze and stuff on top of it, But then they had removed that. Well, then what happened was on the incision that was going straight down my breast, I don't know if it was the tape. We don't know if it could have been incision, something maybe I could have been allergic to because it happened on both sides. But on both sides about this big, it was a blister. Well, then that finally burst. And so then it caused a big sore, you know, like yay big. And then it became deep. And so it was like a huge scab. So I won't go into detail, you know, of how they had to do stuff. But anyway, you would have to go in, they would, you know, clean everything. And you had to do saline and compress, you know, put these little gauze on you and wear this. And I had to do this for a very long time. And that did heal up. I do, however, have pretty bad scarring. But, I mean, I knew I would have scars. So, you know, and that's, there again, for me, that I'm okay. I was able, like I said, I was able to go back to work after a month, and I know I couldn't lift anything, you know, I had to, you know, I had just to be careful and bumping, or I couldn't lay on my, if I laid on my side, I had to tuck a pillow in beside of me because it would just, wasn't comfortable. It was painful. But would I do it again? Absolutely. The first time I put on a shirt that, because it was, at that time, I was still, I could go over to the juniors department and buy a pair of pants, but then I would have to go to sometimes the plus size to get a shirt. And when you put it on, then it was so big at the top that it would hang down from your breast and you just looked pregnant. So you couldn't wear any kind of shirts. They just didn't have anything that was really, you know, that would fit right. So the first time I put on a shirt, I put on a, because I wanted to try on one so bad, and it was just a little tank type shirt with the bra built in. Oh my gosh, to be able to wear that, and you're all held up there. I mean, well, you didn't need to be held up because you had a lift along with it, so you were quite perky. It was awesome. I was just smiling because, and I walked around the house and I would hold my chest because, I mean, I just couldn't believe that everything was so small. It was just wonderful. So it was a tough surgery, but it went very well, really. I mean, all in all, I mean, things happen. There wasn't any fault of anybody where, you know, you're going to have some scarring. Mine, I have a little bit more because of whatever I was allergic to, be it the tape or maybe the sutures. I'm not promoting plastic surgery by any means. But if there's something that is medically necessary, like with mine, it was causing so much problems with my back and my neck that I already have some like arthritis and stuff. You can hear it popping and grinding, which is going to happen too, probably. But I don't have the back issues that I had before. And I don't have, of course, the rashes that are just raw underneath anymore. So I'm thrilled to death that I had it done. And if I could afford to go get some other things tweaked, yeah, I probably would do it. I wouldn't go all out and have a lot of stuff done, you know. I think some people get really obsessed with it, and you know, it's just like they do one thing and then they got to have something else, and then that makes something else look bad, or what, I don't know. But I wouldn't want to, you know. Right now I have TMJ that I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but my jaw joints are wearing out, so I have to, my lower jaw did not develop all the way. So I have to bring my jaw out of joint to be able to talk. And if I put it back, then it's like that. And I have to pop it back out. So my jaws pop a lot, and they really hurt. And so they want to break my jaws and move them forward. But they wire your mouth shut. I've watched videos on it. I've talked to doctors about it. I've talked to some people that's had it done, and I'm just not interested in having that done unless I absolutely have to. So bite splits and things can work for right now, and yes, that's what causes some of my, you know, the way my face is. But some of it's just plain old age, you know. And I'm thankful that I have, you know, my feet hit the floor in the mornings, so I'm not going to complain too much about some wrinkles and that kind of thing. I'm just happy to be here, and you know, just enjoying life. So if I can help anybody, if you have any questions, you can message me, or you know, send me email to my Gmail account. I'll be glad to answer anything. I hope this was helpful, and but anyway, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.